Hey, this is Todd Howarth from Ace Frehley's Comet, Cheap Trick, Ted Nugent, 707, 4x Fate, and Return of the Comet. Hey, you are listening to On the Fly with Stevie and Warden. Yep, that's what you're listening to, and you're listening to it all night long. And maybe during the day. Hell, I don't know. I'm not there. But take my...
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again tonight, and we are recording. It is a Tuesday night at 8:30, and tonight, I always like to have the best of the up-and-coming podcast, and with me tonight is the members of the newest podcast, the Sunny Dayz, that's Days with a Z podcast, Miss Caitlyn Hewitt, and I don't know this other girl. She's kind of a stranger, Miss Mallory Flythe. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good.
And we had a little lighting issue earlier. Hopefully, still have a little bit. Just stranger things going on, but anyway. Like I said, we always, some people had me when I started out my podcast. Some people had me on to try to help me out, and I'm going to try to help these girls out. They have been talking for a while about doing a podcast, and they finally broke bad about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and recorded their first episode. And I paid close attention. Now, let me ask you guys, what made you decide you wanted to do a podcast? And anybody, both of you answer, you take turns, whatever you want to.
Caitlyn, you go first.
Okay. Well, to put into words, it was just a calling we had that we wanted to try something different. We wanted to try something new. We share our lives on social media anyways, and we share a lot with each other. And when we are at the storefront and we're sharing, when customers come in or vendors come in, they jump on into our conversations. So I just felt like we could talk our ways away on a podcast. So that would be a cool experience. And it just, I don't know, played in the cards to do so.
I think that I know for a fact that when Caitlyn and I get together, we talk and talk, we yap all day. Like, it's nonstop. So
it doesn't stop.
For people, to have something that you can put yourself out there and just do what you usually do, which talk, is so freaking cool. And we got together, we really talked about it a few months ago, and we really thought it'd be a good idea just to get our names out there and see what we can do with just talking and making people feel good while talking.
Now,
yeah.
I'll tell you this. When I first started doing this podcast, and I do too. I do the final score, the sports one, and I started with the final score. But the thing I talked about was, I know some people told me I had more useless information in my head than anybody they knew. So I finally started putting it to work. And with you two, I know from hearing some of the conversations you two have that it's a call for it out there. A lot of people are interested in hearing stuff like that. Your first episode, I just checked a few minutes ago, had over 450 views on YouTube. So that is really, really good for your first episode. Talk a little bit about, where did you guys record that first episode at? Because it was an outdoors, but where did you guys record that first episode at?
We actually, that whole experience trying to find a place to record, that was a whole experience.
Yes.
It took all day. We first started out trying to go to Barnes & Noble, but we did the outline there, talked about it, but there were just too many people in there. It wasn't going to work. And
It was a
then
distraction. Yeah.
that was a big distraction.
So me and Mallory wanted to find somewhere where we wouldn't be distracted.
Yes.
And where is that? On the water, in nature. So we found our way on the waterfront with all the cicadas.
All the cicadas. That's what you hear in the back. But we're into nature. We love nature, water, anything. So it was a good spot, just next to the bugs you'll hear in the back. But it was a nice spot.
You guys
Yeah,
but I've never noticed the bugs in the background when I was listening to it.
Oh, you listen on the car Bluetooth, you totally can hear it. Like I wanted to tune them out.
Well, it is what it is. Okay, you're talking about gabbing with each other, talking to each other at the storefront. Your customers come in. Now the store is one of your it's your pride and joy, Caitlyn. We're talking about My Dear Watson.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about My Dear Watson. How long you've had this store, where people can find you, and what this store is all about. What do you sell at that store?
So we are in a Hosky, but we are kind of on the outskirts of a Hosky. So if you know where like the Roanoke Chowan Community College is, we're on the opposite end of that road. So it's Maudlin Road. And My Dear Watson is a vendor consignment store. So we have probably 22 to 24 small businesses inside that sell things that they craft, create, wholesale, all sorts of things. We have some sweet treats in there by some local bakeries. So lots of cool things. Me and Mallory work there together throughout the week, and that's where we do a lot of our brainstorming and just little social butterfly moments where we're building conversations with the community. And I think that's also where the podcast stemmed up is, like I said, the community coming into the store, hearing us. It just is full circle. So I think the store is also going to be bigger than just a vendor consigner store. I think it's just something to it. I don't know. So we're going on year 2 and we're still trying to figure out exactly where My Dear Watson's going to steer. But I think that it's more community ties in there, just supportive community environment. So we're excited to see where it goes, but a lot to it.
Before you took over that, you actually worked in that building for someone else, right?
Yeah, so it was the Ramblin' Rooster, and the Ramblin' Rooster had the same vendor consignment idea, which is a great space. The rooms in the building it's like a hallway, so there's rooms scattered throughout, so it's perfect for rental spaces, consigners to like build displays of their own and things like that. So it really is fitting for that building. And the idea just was magical. So we moved right on in with that tie. But like I said, I think we want to offer more to the community to where we want to just give back more. So if it's the podcast, if it's interviewing our vendors and just talking more and trying to build more social developments with other businesses, and I don't know, we're always brainstorming there. So I don't think anyone knows like what My Dear Watson can really do. It's like we're just always in there thinking.
Talk a little bit about what kind of items you have in there. I mean, there's a big variety of items in there, but talk a little bit about what you have in there.
It's crazy. So like I said, 22 to 24 different small businesses. Everyone has a character. So it's like their business is their personality. So it's a range of things in there. You could start up at the front. So like when you walk in, there's like tons of baby items. There's several brands that people may know, like Itsy Ritzy or the Christian Arts. Those things are like found in a lot of gift shops. So if you're thinking baby shower, wedding gifts, home decor, things like that, you can find that up front. There's apparel vendors. So we have vendors that strictly do like clothes, women's clothes, children's clothes, babies' clothes. We have men's clothes. I mean, it's all over the place. There's fish and baits, woodworking, sweet treats. Like I said, we have local bakeries that deliver 2-3 times a week sometimes. that do the decorated sugar cookies and the cheesecake and pimento cheese. I mean, it's totally crazy. I could sit here probably for 45 minutes to an hour explaining what we carry, but it's up and down to home decor, apparel, consignment, and more.
A little bit for everyone.
Yes.
So we will have the there's actually a Facebook page you guys can check out, and we will have that link in the description of the podcast. You can just check that out for them and give them a follow there. Talking back to the podcast a little bit, Mallory, let me ask you this: how did you guys come up with the name Sunny Dayz for your podcast? Where did that come from?
Well, the way that I can remember it, even though it wasn't that long ago, but my memory is this. The way I remember it, I was just at home one night and Caitlyn sent me a picture of a sunset, and she kind of drew
It was intuition. We just knew that sunset was everything we need to know.
Yes, and we just came up with Sunny Dayz, and it stuck. It definitely stuck, and it's really cute.
Yes.
Like, it's really cute.
I think we were having a lot of dark days that week. Like, me and Mallory vent a lot to each other on just day-to-day life, and we had a lot of dark days that week, and we saw this beautiful sunset, and the sunset was calling, and we were like, Sunny Dayz, better days, Sunny Dayz. And then, we're young, and we had to keep it, hip with the little twist at the end with the Z, just to be fun. Like, that was just to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys want to give them a follow on YouTube. I've got the link scrolling across the bottom of this. Some interference somewhere. I don't know where that's coming from. It's probably me. But if you want to check that out on YouTube, there you go with the link, and we'll have that in the description as well. Talk a little bit about what you guys are looking to get out of this podcast. What direction this podcast is going into? What will this podcast have to offer?
I definitely think we talked about it before, and it's kind of like Caitlyn has told me before. It's kind of like hanging. Okay, if I start talking again, okay. So, kind of like a hang out with us type thing. And, we feel like, and we talked, Caitlyn said this in the podcast, the first one we did, like, it can reach out to people. It can help people from what we talk about. They might be going, what we will end up talking about might help them through future things and without even realizing it. And that's what we kind of want to get at. Yeah. And we want to tie the community together, definitely.
Yeah.
Different places in Ahoskie, all over Hertford County, just anywhere, people and community.
I feel like we have shared a little bit of personal life on social medias, just locally. We're in a small town. Everyone knows your name. So like I said, when we're at the storefront, people come up and they're like, I've seen your posts. They'll relate on different things that we went through or we share. Because I feel like, I don't know, me and Mallory are just open to sharing more on Facebook rather than your normal person. And that might be a calling type thing, because not everyone can just get on social media and share some dark things or some, just real life things. So I think that when we noticed people started hearing us without us trying, we were like, imagine how many people would hear us and relate to us and learn with us if we tried to put it out there. So we're trying to put it out there, and we're slacking. We said today, we were like, oh man, someone asked us today, they were like, when's the next podcast release? And we were like, it's the middle of August and we haven't even shared that we're working on it. Like, we were recording, but we weren't sharing. So we're going to get better. We're new. We're really just kind of jumping on the train without knowing where we're going. So hang on.
Yeah, I think with you two, you seemed really genuine what you were saying. And one of the things about the podcast that you're going to find out, if people find out it's too scripted, it's not going to work. They're not going to listen.
We are not scripted.
You're not, I mean, to have basic ideas of what you're going to talk about is good. But
yeah.
right there and be like you're reading off a script, like this is what I want to talk about. That's not work. And you guys had no problem with that in the first episode. You guys were genuine, and it was coming, off the cuff. I like that. I mean, and evidently a lot of people liked it. You got 450 views your first episode, and for somebody to go ahead and ask, when you hear somebody ask you, when's the next podcast going to happen? Or like if I take I've taken kind of a break from the podcast here lately, and I've had people ask me, when are you going to get back to the podcast again? That's got to make you feel good when, and you get that adrenaline rush from like, hey, I must be doing something right if people want to hear more from me. So you girls have got that. People are going to be interested to hear what you have to say. Your first episode, you guys answered a lot of questions that were on social media. So tonight, what I'm going to do, and you can rotate who answers first, I'm going to ask you some questions. This is kind of like what I do on both my podcasts. I call it the 2-minute drill. So no wrong answers, just what comes to your head. Okay? So
Wake up, Mallory. Wake up.
okay. Would you rather go to the lake or to the beach?
I'd go to the beach.
Beach.
Beach. Okay. Favorite movie?
I'm gonna say, because I was trying to think of a different one.
Different one from the, yeah.
But
I know what Mallory should be.
mine, okay, today's would be Mamma Mia.
Right.
But I also love Shrek. So that's in there too. That's one of my favorites.
All right. So, well, I'll let Watson pick my favorite. Watson's my 2-year-old. So I actually don't have the TV much anymore. Ever. Yeah. So since you picked Shrek, Mallory, we're just going to go with the Cat in the Hat because the Cat in the Hat is playing if Shrek's not playing.
Yeah.
And if there's no coincidence, guys, if you heard her talk about her son is named Watson, that's what the store is named after. My dear Watson. It is D-E-E-R, not D-E-E.
Yeah.
And it's not Mighty Watson either. It's my dear Watson. So, by the way, I meant to say this a while ago. I don't know if Mallory told you or not, but you did have a customer from up around Northern Virginia came in your store. And I got a lot of compliments on the store from you that it was the guy's wife came in there, and I think he was there with her. I may be wrong. He said you had a terrific business sense and you had great taste in what you put in the store. She bought a lot of stuff from in there. So yeah.
I love that. And we actually, being in a Hosky, you wouldn't think, and especially on Maudlin Road. So if you have ever been, it's in the middle of nowhere, really. But when we talk to the customers, we have steady traffic from the Outer Banks, like people that live in the Outer Banks that when they're here, they stop in. We've had people from New York City. We've had people from Kansas, Missouri. Like we've had people from different states that they have family here. So when they're here, as soon as they hit the town, they hear about it. So that's what I do love about the small town is, family visiting from out of state also get to experience the store. So love the community ties there for sure.
All right, back to the questions. First concert you went to?
The first. Oh, I remember my first one. It was weird. Well, I don't know. I actually almost went to go see Brad Paisley when I was real young, but we got all the way in line and my friend got sick and we had to go home. But we got signed merch. So I guess that would have been, we got the ticket.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yes, but my first concert was with Zach at the Norva in Virginia, so it was real up and close and personal, and it was a band I never heard of called Humphreys McGee. Never heard of them, but they were actually really great.
Humphreys McGee?
Yes, it was really, really great. Do what?
Are they still around?
Yes, Humphreys McGee, like Humphrey, like umpire, and then McGee. Okay. They're really cool. Love them lots. But see, took a step out of my comfort zone because I didn't know who they were. I just was down for a fun concert.
All right, Mallory.
I want to say my first one was in Virginia, and it was Casting Crowns. I'm pretty positive it was Casting Crowns, and I'll never forget that. I went with a youth group. It was a bunch of our first concerts, I remember, and we were not let down. Like, it was great, and we actually got beside the tour bus on the way home in traffic, and we were able to kind of see the band members through the window and everything. So it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
First experience for sure.
Yeah, my first one was back in 1988. So yes, I'm old. Poison on the Open Up and Say Ah tour. That was when they did Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And Tesla was there. Tesla opened up for them, and they actually were, to me, better than Poison that night. They did Love Song that night before Love Song became such a big hit, and I was like, holy crap, that's going to be big. So yeah, that was pretty big there. All right, favorite song.
Okay,
That
well,
could change by the week. I know it does with me, so that could change by the week.
yeah. I actually talked about this in our first podcast. Talked about this. My favorite song of all time is Vienna by Billy Joel, and the reason why is because it's been with me through many, many stages of my life. It's helped me get out of many dark stages of my life, and it's always been a comfort song for sure.
And it came on today when we were in the car together.
You know what movie that song's in? Trivia question right here.
I should know.
Caitlyn should know.
I don't know right now because I'm trying to still think of my favorite song. My brain's working on overdrive.
It's in 13 going on 30.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, because she loves Billy Joel. Yes. I don't know my favorite song. I don't want to do the one on the podcast. I'm struggling over here.
It's not a wrong answer. It's one that you're thinking of.
Well, I'm going to just do the one on the podcast because it came on today, too. So we're just going to continue on. But mine was another Billy, is Billy Strings. So Billy Strings is just my favorite artist right now, I think. And Know It All is my favorite song. I've put it on my Instagram stories like 100 times. So I think it's calling to me right now. But really good song. Know It All by Billy Strings. And if you hear it, you would know why. It's like a diary. So good.
All right, so you just answered my next question, I think. Favorite artist right now. So you're saying Billy Strings.
Right now, Billy Strings is first hand. Yeah.
All right, Mallory.
Mine, for sure, at least right now, is Tyler Childers.
Tyler Childers, of course.
And they're good together. Like, both of them are good together.
They work good together. And we actually, me and Caitlyn both went to go see Tyler in concert in June. And I truly do think that was the best concert ever.
So good.
And it was just so fun. I never thought I would be able to see him live at all, but very last minute decision to buy the tickets, and I'm so glad because they always say last minute decisions are always the best. So I'm doing that now.
All right. You said your artist. Now, favorite music group.
Right now, I'm in a rock and roll era, and I love Stain. I'm actually going to see them in September. Love them. Ain't that a music group, like a band? That's what we're asking. We're blondes here.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up. Was I supposed to pick like a worship group or something?
No. Favorite music group. It could be anybody.
Okay. Mine, technically, they're not a group anymore, but they're all my all-time favorite. Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
Fleetwood Mac is my favorite band of all time.
All right. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the toppings.
Yeah.
Usually I get no to that question.
Mhm.
Coke or Pepsi?
Depends on the sunshine for me. Like, I don't know. It's like, okay, so yeah, well, glass bottle Coke for sure. But like a can Pepsi is just like, it kind of sends that tingle through your esophagus.
No, but glass bottle of Coke from Joe's Pizza in New York City.
Can't beat it.
Slice of pizza, the best
Mhm.
thing you ever have in your life.
Let's talk about that for a second, because that's one of y'all. That may be a podcast episode that you guys need to do, so you don't have to elaborate on it much. How was the experience in New York when you guys went?
It was amazing. Like, one of the best trips ever, for sure. I love it.
Two country gals taking on a huge city. It was fun. I wish our biggest regret was not vlogging it, like not doing videos more, because if y'all could see what we saw, like it was just a great time. I feel like we were right where we needed to be. It was awesome. Awesome experience.
That needs to be a future episode right there. Your recap of what you did in New York. That should be a future episode. I would definitely tune into that. All right. Favorite TV show?
I have two, and one of them's Friends, because that's
love Friends
and my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love Reba. So Friends and Reba. I'm more of a sitcom person.
Okay, so those are like my two. Like I love going to sleep to those. They're like comfort shows. But if you wanted some drama, like Kardashians or Teen Mom all day.
I also have, speaking of, I'm glad you said that, because I also have to add Big Brother. I'm like a Big Brother.
I was shocked you didn't say that, being, you know.
I don't know what I was thinking, but Big Brother for reality, Reba and Friends for
comfort shows. Mm-hmm.
Place you want to go on vacation?
Think we want to go to Disney World?
Yeah. Florida, Disney World.
Yeah.
Maybe.
we're just manifesting Disney World.
Yeah, you just putting that out there, right?
Yeah. Where the magic happens.
All right, I got you. All right, here's a good one that I haven't done before. I'm viewing this question to y'all. As a kid, your favorite Christmas memory?
Okay,
I got it.
This one ties with Disney World, kind of.
Okay.
Actually, we're bringing it back a little bit. I remember one Christmas, I was probably 10, maybe. I was 10. And we did Christmas all day, our usual thing. And then we went back to my grandma's. My granddaddy actually told me, he said, you come back later tonight and I got a surprise for you. I thought they got me all the good stuff, like when I got there. And when I got back, I was trying to figure out what the surprise was. He wouldn't tell me. They turn on the TV and they start playing this DVD, and it's like talking about like Welcome to Disney World type thing. And they announced I was going to Disney World. We were all going to take a trip, and I think that's probably one of my favorite Christmas memories of all time.
I love that.
You were actually 9 because
I was turning 10.
You celebrated your 10th birthday at Disney World.
Okay.
We were there for your birthday. Yeah.
I love that. Mallory was actually just telling me that story in the car earlier, and I didn't know it fell on Christmas. That's so cute. I won't listen, and I'm sorry. But there's tons of memories that I could speak on, but just like when I think of like childhood Christmas, two things that come to mind would be, of course, like what was on the TV. So we had like at the beginning, it was the parades, like the Christmas parades, Macy's, I think. And then after, it was the Christmas Story. But under the tree, my grandmother, she would always have like, I don't know what they're called, but like oranges and apples for everybody. Like you just have oranges and apples under the tree.
Day, babe, even before me, look, we got some stockings with oranges and apples in it. That was
they were gifts. Yeah, we got oranges and apples.
Yeah, that's what people used to get.
I loved it.
When my mom was a kid, that's what she said she used to get. You know, that was part of it. And look, I remember every year when I was a kid, my mom would get like a case of like these tangerines, and I would mow through just about the entire case by myself because I love some freaking tangerines. But that was a good Christmas gift there with it. But the thing I didn't like that they put in there sometimes, I don't know what kind of nut they are. It's not walnut.
Mhm.
But it's these nuts that are like solid as a rock. I'm not a fan of any kind of like peanuts, pecans or pecans, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not a fan of any, but I can't imagine somebody trying to eat that thing. I know you have to crush it, but it's hard as a brick. I was
Yeah.
like, ugh. So yeah,
I like the old traditions at Christmas. Like I feel like we were raised on like old traditions.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
yeah. There's some stories I could tell about Christmases listening to Santa Claus in the next room putting stuff together.
Yeah.
I could tell a story, but if some of the younger kids are watching, I'll leave that to your imagination. Favorite actor, and I'm talking about actor as far as men, and we'll get to actress in a minute.
I would probably have to say either Chad Michael Murray
Mm.
or what's his name? He played Rudy Pankow. He played JJ in Outer Banks, and I love him.
Oh, I love them. I do love them. They're awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I like Paul Walker. Won't it Paul Walker?
Mhm.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. I always just love him when I think of an actor.
Yes.
All right. Actress. Favorite actress.
Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried. Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried.
Nice. Oh, I'm just not good at it on the spot.
Yeah.
Actress. Me, because I play drama every day. No. I don't know. Right now, I cannot even think.
Okay.
What's Rachel's real name? Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston.
That's a good
Yes, she's awesome in every movie.
One show you're streaming right now. What's something you're binge watching right now?
Reba.
Oh, you finished that though, didn't you?
Well, I'm still watching it, but I mean, I am watching Big Brother right now because the season is going through. So I'll say Big Brother.
I'm trying to catch up on my Mandalorian because I can never finish a whole episode with Watson, but Mandalorian has my binge watching.
What season are you on?
The last one. And I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, it's. I don't know if you've seen one part of it where, but get ready. That's all I got to say. Get ready.
It keeps me on my toes. Yeah.
Okay, you're a big Star Wars fan. Favorite Star Wars movie?
The favorite is, I would say, I don't know. Right now is the Return of the Jedi, just because it's nostalgic, and we're going to Disney World, and they have a lot of Return of the Jedi film like scenes in there.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi is really cool.
I also think Return of the Jedi is my favorite, but I have a big part of my heart goes to Revenge of the Sith just because.
Yes. That one makes me cry.
Yeah, same. I love Anakin so much, but I know his character development in it was, but that's a great one. I've always thought it was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going against both of y'all. I'm going Empire. I'm going Empire. I can tell you the first three that came out, they're actually 4, 5, and 6. The first time I went to see Star Wars, I can remember to this day waiting in line outside the Run Rapids Theater, and the guy that's our preacher now was in line ahead of us. I remember it was cold, and going in there, I don't know how. I could have been 4 or 5 years old. I don't know why. I guess because of my older brother. That's why my parents took us. So I was hooked, and every year at Christmas, it was Star Wars, Kiss, and Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. And then going to see Empire, we went to see that at the beach. I remember at the end when Darth Vader and Luke are fighting, and he pops out of nowhere. I threw a whole bag of popcorn up in the air at the theater. I almost got kicked out of the theater for that. But then when Return of the Jedi came out, my parents have been telling me all week, Sunday after church, we're carrying you to see Return of the Jedi. Saturday afternoon, I started getting sick. And I ain't talking about just the sniffles. I'm talking about fever, all this stuff. Guess what I did though? I went to church sick. I sat in that theater just like this, holding my head up and I was so sick because I was going to see Return of the Jedi. That Star Wars was like the big thing for me as a kid. Have you finished Kenobi yet?
Yes, and that was super good. And me and Austin, my brother, we grew up on Star Wars too, and it was so good. I remember you said like you got gifts at Christmas. I remember at Christmas we got this Darth Vader helmet, and it was so cool. We thought we were like the coolest people because it had a microphone in the inside, and you could change to his voice. It was so cool. Yes.
I think I got the Darth Vader one, and then what was the other one? Did it? It was like
one of the Stormtrooper ones.
Yeah.
So good.
Your Darth Vader thing you're thinking about, Mallory, is the Darth Vader case that I had my action figure in as a kid. That was that. I had the Darth Vader case. I had the Death Star, which I wish I still had. All of the stuff I wish I took care of. We had the TIE Fighters, Millennium Falcon, the X-Wing. We had the Snow Speeders. I mean, all of that stuff. And just about every action figure you think of. If I had all that today and it was in good shape, wouldn't have to worry about anything for a while. I could sell all that stuff and be comfortable for a while. But Star Wars was such a big thing. I remember Mallory as a little girl at the old house we were in. Pink walls, princess stuff everywhere, and then right smack dab in the middle was this huge Star Wars poster with every character from Star Wars up there in it. And I was like, yep, I'm raising her right.
That makes me so happy. See, my dad, he was our Star Wars nerd, so that's where we got it from. And Mama thought it was the funniest thing ever. But I even like Star Wars can teach you so much. And I know it looks funny to some people, but I use things that I've learned in Star Wars every day. Like, Mallory, what's my favorite one at the storefront? I go, patient young Jedi. All the time.
I love it.
So now that we've got off the Star Wars skip for a while, one more time, let's talk about this podcast. And you guys can see it, the link scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That's Sunny Dayz 252.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, look at the bottom. That's right. Point at the bottom. And we will have the link in our episode description, and we will also have My Dear Watson in the episode description as well. What are your hours and days that you're open at My Dear Watson while we're talking about that?
We just changed seasonal hours, so they do change seasonally. But right now we're in Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6 p.m. So easy peasy.
So you can find, most of the time you can find one of these ladies there if you got any, and some days you can find both of them there. So you guys drop by there, tell them you saw it on the podcast. Make sure you check out their podcast. Are you guys going to go strictly YouTube, or are you going to go like an audio version, or what are you going to do?
When I say the sky is the limit for us, we have talked about Spotify, we have talked about Patreon, we have talked about all sorts of things. I'm just dreaming of everything.
Sky, in other words, the sky's the limit for Sunny Dayz.
Yes.
Hey, that kind of fits.
Oh, hey, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. That should be.
That's where you can catch us.
Sunny Dayz. But anyway, any last things both of you guys want to say before we get out of here?
I appreciate you letting us come up here. I know it was probably such a work in for you that letting us come in here.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, and it's been fun for sure.
Yes, I like I said, want to point out that we're very, very new to this, so it will get better.
Yes.
And we're sorry for being late to the podcast or the episode.
Oh shoot! Look, let me tell you guys, and I told Mallory this a while back. I've been trying to get Mallory to do a podcast for a while, and I'm glad Caitlyn came along with that idea because, you know, I think you guys will be really good at it. You did a great job the first episode. And if I go back and listen to the first one I did, oh my gosh, it's like I don't even like to listen to myself now on a podcast, but
Same.
going back to listen to the first one, no, I'm all over the place. I know. So
Well, we are too. And that is why we feel the need to do this, though, because I feel like everyone's scared to do anything nowadays because they're scared about what people think. And we are the worst critics on ourselves, like critics.
Yeah.
See, I cannot speak. But me and Mallory actually recorded the podcast. What was the first podcast time? It was like 18 minutes.
Yeah.
We did the same questions in 18 minutes, and it was because we were so scared. 2 minutes in, we scratched it. We didn't even watch the rest of it. We scratched it immediately, and we just tried again. We shook the nerves, and we tried again. And take 2, luckily, was a success. But sometimes it takes 5 or 6 takes. I mean, we just are together. See, we give up when it's just us.
Yeah.
But then together, we never give up. So we will get better in time, but you just got to try.
yep, practice. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And wait till you get on with some of these people from around the country, and they make fun of your Southern accent like they do me. One episode I did with, I forgot what podcast. It was another Kiss podcast. They said they're going to need a translator to understand my Southern accent. I said, well, I can be like Ozzy Osbourne then. You know, he always had to have a translator. But yeah, don't let them. I don't let that bother me. Anyway, that's going to do it tonight, guys, for On the Fly. As we are joined by the 2 ladies, Mallory and Miss Caitlyn from Sunny Dayz podcast. You guys be sure to check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. They're already, I think it's your subscribers are in like the 20s. So that's really good.
I think it was last time I checked it. It was today.
27 and then 450 views on their first episode. Guys, be sure to check them out. And be sure to check out My Dear Watson and stop by there if you're in the area. Even if you're not in there, make a special trip down here to check out My Dear Watson. Girls, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you, girls. And
Thank you.
And we'll have you on again. We'll keep everybody updated on the Sunny Dayz. We'll be sharing their podcast on the Fly page, on my personal page. Anywhere you see anything for the final score on the Fly, you'll see Sunny Dayz podcast. All right, guys. You guys have a great night and a great week. We'll see you next time on the Fly.